Hey folks, here we are again with Mr. Eric Rhoads, the CEO of Streamline Publishing, and a gentleman that I consider probably the leading art marketer in the world. And today we're going to be discussing how advertising works. So how does advertising work, Eric?
Well, advertising is very misunderstood, Graeme, and what people think is that a big audience is a good thing. And a big audience can be a good thing, there's no doubt about it, but it's got to be the right audience. So let me give you an example. I got all excited. There was a magazine that I wanted to advertise in, and it had a big audience of art collectors. And I contacted them and I said, how big is your audience? And they said, we got a couple 100,000. I thought, oh, all right, this is great. I'm going to try to sell some subscriptions to one of my art magazines to them. And so I said, well, how much is the ad? They said, it's $8,000. And I said to myself, well, that's a lot of money, but it's got a big audience. So I bought one ad for $8,000. Guess how many subscriptions I sold?
One?
Two.
Okay.
And my COO of my company came to me and he said, Eric, I don't know what you were thinking. He said, this is exactly opposite of what you teach. He said, if you'd have had 8 or 10 ads in there, every month in a row, we would have sold thousands of subscriptions. He said, but at that price, it might not have justified it for a $40 subscription, but smaller ads repeated probably would have worked in that case. So the idea is not a big audience or even a big audience with the right people. The idea is the right people and the right amount of repetition, and then you have to have the right message. So you have to have repetition. What happens is that you have to have someone get your message into their head 7 to 10 times in a certain period of time. So you run one ad and think somebody's going to respond, they're not likely to respond. You run a second one, they're now starting to notice you. You run a third one, they're going, I should pay more attention to this person. You run a fourth one, they're like, man, I kind of like that person. The fifth one, it's like, I'd kind of like to own one of those. The sixth one's like, I think I'm going to buy one of those one day. And the seventh one is like, that reminds me, I love this artist, I'm going to go buy something.
Yeah.
And you've got to just keep stacking and you got to keep going because there's new people in and out all the time. Plus, not everybody sees every message. And so by stacking, by repeating, you got a strong message. That strong message has got to get their attention. Got to have your ads have good headlines, good graphics. You got to have a call to action. You got to make them want to do something. And then you've got to repeat it and you've got to have an audience. Now, a big audience, I hear this all the time. Artists say, I bought ads in this publication. It had all these art collectors. It had a big audience and I didn't sell anything. I said, well, you didn't sell anything because you didn't repeat it, or it was a publication maybe that had a lot of people reading it, but not necessarily rich people. My goal is stand in the river where the money is flowing, right? So I was talking to somebody earlier today. We found out about a publication one time, and they sold all these cheap subscriptions, $2 each, and people who loved art. And so they got their subscription, they got it up to like 100,000 people. And so people had advertised, but they weren't getting responses. And they thought, well, why not? Well, it's because it was people who loved art, not people who bought art.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be in an environment of people who buy art. That makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Eric. That was amazing. The information that you gave was just incredible. But we also have a fantastic opportunity to go in and view a webinar that you've put together that explains a lot more detail of what's going on. And we'll be doing this over a period of time as well. So my suggestion is the link at the bottom there where you can see the webinar. Go and listen to Eric speak about art marketing once again, and get all of that fantastic information, and it'll definitely change your life. I can guarantee you that much.
Thank you, Graeme. I appreciate it.
Thank you.